Spring comes late to New England. Snow lingers in isolated patches. Trees begin their greening hesitantly, tiny closed buds of leaves against naked branches. Early blooms of color burst from the earth's womb. The air is fresh with promise. BJ tossed open her window with a flourish and welcomed the early breeze into her room. Saturday, she thought with a grin, and began to braid her long wheat-colored hair. The Lakeside Inn was half full, the summer season 3 weeks away, and if all followed her well-ordered plans, her duties as manager would be light for the duration of the weekend. Her staff was loyal, though somewhat temperamental. Like a large family, they squabbled, sulked, teased, and stuck together like mortar and brick when the need arose. And I, she mused with a rueful grin, am head counselor. Pulling on faded jeans, BJ did not pause to consider the incongruity of the title. A small, childlike woman reflected in her glass. Curves disguised by casual attire, braids hanging impishly astride a heart-shaped, elfin face with huge, smoky eyes dominant. Her only large feature, they swamped the tip-tilted nose and Cupid's bow mouth and were prone to smolder or sparkle with the fluctuations of her mood. After lacing dilapidated sneakers, she jogged from the room, intending to check on breakfast preparations before stealing an hour for a solitary walk. The main staircase of the inn was wide and uncarpeted, connecting its 4 sprawling stories without curve or angle, as straight and sturdy as the building itself. She saw with satisfaction the lobby was both tidy and deserted. The curtains were drawn to welcome the sun, needlepoint pillows plumped, and a vase of fresh wildflowers adorned the high, well-polished registration desk. The clatter of cutlery carried from the dining room as she passed through the downstairs hall, and she heard, with a long, suffering sigh, the running argument between her 2 waitresses. "If you really like a man with small pig eyes, you should be very happy." BJ watched Dot shrug her thin shoulders with the words as she rolled a place setting in white linen. "Wally does not have pig eyes," Maggie insisted. "They're very intelligent. You're just jealous," she added with grim relish as she filled the sugar dispensers. "Jealous? Ha! The day I'm jealous of a squinty-eyed little runt. Oh, hello, BJ. Good morning, Dot. Maggie. You rolled 2 spoons and a knife at that setting, Dot. I think a fork might be a nice touch." Accompanied by her companion's snickers, Dot unrolled the linen. "Wally's taking me to a double feature at the drive-in tonight." Maggie's smug statement followed BJ into the kitchen, and she allowed the door to swing shut on the ensuing retort. Unlike the casual, old-fashioned atmosphere of the remainder of the inn, the kitchen sparkled with 20th century efficiency. Stainless steel glimmered everywhere in the oversized room, the huge stove attesting that the inn's main attraction was its menu. Cupboards and cabinets stood like veteran soldiers, walls and linoleum gleaming with fresh cleaning. BJ smiled, pleased with the room's perfection and the drifting scent of coffee. "Morning, Elsie." She received an absent mutter from the round woman working at a long, well-scrubbed counter. "If everything's under control, I'm going out for a couple of hours." "Betty Jackson won't send any blackberry jelly." "What? Well, for goodness sake, why not?" Annoyed by the complication, BJ plucked a fresh muffin from a basket and began to devour it. "Mr. Connors always asks for her jelly, and we're down to the last jar." "She said if you couldn't be bothered to pay a lonely old woman a visit, she couldn't be bothered to part with any jelly." "Lonely old woman?" BJ's exclamation was hampered by a mouthful of muffin. "She runs more news items through that house of hers than the Associated Press."